Welcome to Home Cinema and Tech Review. In this video, we're going to be reviewing the Wanbo Dali 1, which you see here. This is probably one of the smallest projectors from Wanbo. And we're going to take a look at all the bells and whistles in the spec, and I'm going to give you my full conclusion in the beginning of the video, as I always do. Right now, the couple of ambient lights are on the 50% of side of things, so this is not a pretty dark room. But basically the camera is tuned to auto. In the beginnings, I do that. You probably all know if you haven't watched this video for the first time. So I'm going to give you my full conclusion, my test results, and overall ideas about which model, if you want to buy a Wanbo or similar level product for the price range, why you should be thinking that or why you should be upgrading instead of Dali 1. So before diving deep, the image size is 100-inch and the screen that I got 135. So I wasn't expecting this much of a brightness level product to be delivering this much of a bright image, but it really works in a small room setup, and I will give you the details in a couple of minutes. So right now what you see is I'm giving 4K signal from Realme 4K dongle. Isn't it by itself can play Android like Full HD videos? Yes, it can. But in the beginning, why I do that? Because this device has the capability to deliver better pictures when you give 4K signal. And I want to show you what if you connect your gaming console like Xbox Series S, X, or PlayStation 5. So I want to start with the picture quality of a game. Most of the time, games are sharper than most of the videos. So this is how it looks on a big scale gaming. This device, I'm going to show you the specs on the screen. I'm going to read some, and I'm going to get back and show you some other game footage. Let's go back and hit Forza Horizon 5, which is one of the sharper games. As you can see, 720p still, the texts are quite sharp because this is a sharp 720p, not the cheapest projectors out there. So if you can gather your money, don't waste your money to the lowest spec projectors. Get something like this to get a better, sharper image. Otherwise, you're going to regret your money decision in the first place. So you will be throwing your money just to garbage. I'm not saying this is the best or sharpest projector. Of course, there are better projectors out there for better price range, even from the Wanbo itself. But basically, compared to the cheapest Full HD declarated projectors, this is by far sharper than if you go below $100 range. This is a sharper projector. Don't just follow the resolution code declaration of the projector brands, okay? This is just a warning. So I will tell you, let me just open up my phone, starting by the specs of this thing. And this is a 0.9 kilo small device, and you're going to see all the close-ups and what I feel about the physical quality of Dali 1 in the upcoming section of box and content close-ups, all the details of this device. So on the declaration, it says 1005:1 contrast ratio, and the contrast is good. We all know that, like LEDs or laser projectors have good contrast ratio compared to bulb ones. But I couldn't measure the contrast because of my small time. But the measurement of the NC lumen on their website declaration is 350. On my 3-time test, I measured 189.2, which means we got 190 NC lumens, which is more than half, a lot more than half. So basically, this device is really delivering quite a bit of good power output. You probably wouldn't expect something small like this perform. And you're going to see a section where I put this on the kids' room, so you can have a clear idea, like a 15 to maybe 10 to 15 square meters small kid or teenager room, how this will act, because it really performs quite good. Because when the room gets smaller, like the screen is from one wall to another wall, like 100-inch like this will fill the entire room, and you will definitely feel more cinematic because bouncing back light from the walls really affects how you feel. So you won't be feeling the same, this wide angle view, but you're going to be inside like a big cinema in a small room setup. So you will enjoy it, believe me. And you will see that section too. So you got a Huawei silicon chip, dual band Wi-Fi 6, that's all plus. And it has quiet operation, and you're going to see the decibel level on the screen, my tests. I don't remember right now. I couldn't read my notes, so probably in the other notes, but I don't want to skip this video. So you're going to see the decibel test on the screen, and you might see some section where the decibel levels captured from a phone through the camera on the playback level. This is not a loud projector. One of the reasons is probably the power brick is outside, so the power supply is not creating heat inside. So that's another plus side of the adapter outside thinking. But of course, I would prefer the X2 Max or direct input X5 because I like direct cables. If you're going to mount it on a ceiling, I think it's easier way. Sometimes adapters holds the projector down. If you upgrade like tripod and put it higher like this, tripod have to kneel one side. This is minus for me, but for some people it could be a positive depending on where you look at things, on the noise level, on the heat level. Of course, some people say, what happens if the power supply had problems? Yeah, you can change it much more easily on the long run use, because these things have like 20 to 30,000 hours of life. That is a long life. So if you want to use them on a long run, it's easier to change the power adapter outside, and also not creating a heat. That's another plus. So you got a cavity of inside like 160 cc and two 5 watts of speakers. So you can't really believe when you first time hear this, something small, less than a palm size, create quite a bit of good sound in a small room setup or bedroom setup. This is kind of like by its own enough. But if you connect your earbuds, headphones, you got a great sound. You all know by now. So probably, if I remember correctly, the specs will be on the screen. Bluetooth 5.0, that's a nice touch. You got a 4-point keystone correction. I will show you in a minute. Just move it around and going back and forth in this section. So you got a digital zoom. That's another plus for me. Like you can really make it small or big if you can't move the projector, like mounted on a ceiling, something. 4-point keystone automatic correction. So you can manually, of course, do that. Autofocus, really good. And that makes this device all in one package on a small budget way. So we gotta go to cooling. We already mentioned that. Latency level, it says low latency. I've tested for a long time, and you're going to see the latency test at the end of the video. And I got from 41 milliseconds, 41, 41, 43, 56, 54, 56, 43, 42. So the ratio was 41 milliseconds to 56 milliseconds, which means this is a 40 to 60 millisecond range of a projector. We can call it 30 to 50 millisecond projectors are kind of like a casual gamers. So you can't really play games like third-person games like Tomb Raider and maybe Assassin's Creed or Uncharted, whatever. So third-person games are going to be quite fun. And you can play FIFA, kind of like football games. Now probably named is FC, but still you can play football games, two side-by-side like split-screen games. You can play fight games, but kind of like fight games, maybe FPS games, depending on the latency a little more. And if you're going to play online competitive, then you might want to check out something less than 30 milliseconds. Other than that, this is not the price range of what I'm talking about. So this is not a minor, this is not a problem at all, but I just want to point that out. That's one thing. So this is not a pro model from Wanbo, and you will be missing the license of Netflix and the Amazon Prime. That doesn't mean it can't work it out. It has the built-in default Android 9 from the other Wanbo models that you know. It can play everything smoothly. You can cast everything from iPhone to Android. That means this is really casual device, like cast anything and play it inside. You can use apps, you can install from App Store, APK files directly from Google Play, no problem. But the issue is the licensing of the Netflix and the Amazon Prime depends on the mobile, and the resolution won't be the full resolution if you have the 4K and maybe upgraded Netflix account, high bitrate and stuff. So you might want to add on dongle, or you might want to use it as it is. So you got to know that, but for that, you got to go for pro and higher models, or at least Wanbo TT. So for the price raise, the price also increase. You can't find anything for this price range other than Wanbo, and the performance, considering the price range, is quite fast. You're going to see it, the entire menu works quite fast. Everything works flawlessly. So I wasn't thinking that this would be enough for a guy like me. I've tested probably all their products, and of course I've tested a lot more products too. So well, positive to negative, this is still 720p projector. So on the positive side, 720p is also enough if you got a sharp image. And this is a sharp 720p projector, so you can use it up to 100 inch, but for my taste, if I'm going to get a little closer, I would use this 85, because when 85 happens, really sharpness really increases. So 720p, it is a sharp 720p, way better than cheaper full HD declarated projectors out there, and I highly can recommend this. Instead of buying $50, $60, $90 projectors, just pay a little bit more and get this, because cheaper full HD declarated projectors are not sharp as this, but basically it is not the sharpest 720p either. So if you're going to compare this to a bulb, big lens and big sensor like expensive 720p projectors, like probably 2 or 3 times expensive than this, there are 720p projectors and they are sharper, but the price is 3 times more, and you can buy full HD Wanbo models too for that price matters. So it is up to a price point. This is a price performance style product, not the best product that you are going to buy. But it's, again, if you got a budget, you can go up to T2 Max New, T4, TT, so up to level DaVinci 1 and then Mozart 1, Mozart 1 Pro. So what else that I can say? I think I've covered up everything. To be able to going from 40 inch to up top, it says 110 inch, it's really good. Why I mean really good, when you increase the amount of distance, like decrease the distance and increase the brightness, which I will do in the end of the video, you're going to see extreme sharpness. Like if you go 40 inch with this, it becomes like a TV, and I did it in the kids' room. Definitely 43 inch side by side with the Wanbo, and you can use it as a daily TV, like a sharp TV in a dimly lit room, and you won't be bothered with the white wall. But if you want to use this ideally, 75, I think, in a small room becomes like a huge, but I did it with the 110 inch. I really enjoyed it from 4 meters. You won't be bothering with the softness of 720p if you go a little bit far behind. Like where I sit at 4.5 meters to this 100 inch image, I don't have any problem with the sharpness. Of course, I can see the softness of 720p, but that's the fact that you gotta accept for the price range. And you can't really find around the $100 range product that calls itself like Full HD sharper than this too much. Nah, you could find something equal, but something practical all-in-one like this with a good speaker, good power supply unit outside, silent like this, and application everything works flawlessly with the autofocus, I guess probably you don't have too much of an alternative out there. That's why this has a point where you want to spend your money on. But if you got a little bit more budget, or if you want something more, if you're going to use it in the living room. So here I come to a little bit of the minus or positives and negative stage. I would prefer the Dali one if I'm going to use it in the kids' room, bedroom, second room. Would I prefer it for the living room? I would go for the living room minimum X2 Max or T2 Max new, because they are full HD, and if I'm going to use it in the living room, it should be bigger than 65, 75-inch TV sizes. So if I'm going to use this minimum 100-inch, which means projector size for me in the 2023-24, so you got to go 100-inch and above. When you got to do that, full HD is the ideal way. Let's just face it, because these devices still have relatively low price compared to many bulb projectors out there, and compared to high-end bulb projectors and much more sharper projectors out there like $600 and above range, these are quite affordable. And when you look at that, you gotta have the full HD in my opinion. But can you use it in the living room? Yes, you can. But I suggest to get the X2 Max or T2 Max new, or TT for that matter. It's up to you. Because of the licensing of the Netflix, you got a TT or DaVinci One. Those two have licenses. DaVinci One has the Google license, so you got a Google Play license and everything licensed well, and a bigger speaker. But if you don't care about the Google, just want a casual Netflix and Amazon Prime and casting, Wanbo TT will get you there. And I was happy with my Wanbo TT over 6 months. So personally, in the living room, I would choose Wanbo TT over this. But if it's a budget issue, the Dali one gets the job done. So the second thing, who is this projector for then? I'm going to repeat it again. For the bedroom, for the kids' room, for the small room, for the second projector or second room that doesn't have a TV, if you don't want to buy a TV, or casual use for kids, if you don't want to spend too much of money, then this will get the job done. If you want something to connect your console, casually play games in the second room, in the kids' room, then okay. But if you're going to present something with Excel files, with texts, at least you need full HD. Because when you go 720p and big sizes, things get soft on small texts. So pixelization will happen. This is not a problem of Wanbo Dali 1. This is the problem of 720p. I just want to point that out because people are asking like, I'm a teacher, presentation projector. This is not it. You got to go full HD. And if you're going to use it in the lit environment, you got a X5. You got to buy something like X5 or X5 Pro for that matter, new version of it, because it needs to be bright. So you're going to put it, if you're going to put it on a white wall in a bright day. These are dark room projectors or dimly lit projectors, especially Dali 1, considering the 190 nth lumen. This is a dark room projector. I will also, in the end of the video, let me just darken it. Okay, darken the room fully for you to see full darkness. And you're going to, don't worry, see the full menu and everything. This is fully dark room right now. And the camera will auto adjust and you're seeing a 4K video. Let's just go back and try to find the Spider-Man. Let's just Fortnite. And this is the Spider-Man against the Sandman, I guess. Oh, this is not a game. Good gameplay, I suppose. So let's go back. Reason that I show gameplay, Assassin's Creed or, yeah, 4K gameplays are always good looking. So let's go to the resolution. If we have the, yeah, we got a 4K. So this is a 4K gameplay. And as you can see, it's quite a bit of sharp with the 100-inch image. In the end of this section, conclusion, I think I covered everything. And this probably is not Assassin's Creed. This feels like samurai game. Yeah, it says work in progress, but I'm not sure about the game. So I will get it close and get the camera closer so how sharp it can get if you get small and how fast the autofocus is. So I'm getting it up. This is a tripod and this is about 40 to 50 inch image, and voila. Just takes little time and it's extremely sharp. And I can go even smaller, but I will take the camera. You don't have to go small. Don't get me wrong, you can use it big, but I want to show you how good looking it is when you go smaller. So this is the image that you get. You can see how sharp it is from the outside texture of the dress of the character, right? So this is what you can do with it. You can go small, use it as a TV, extremely sharp, or you can go big, still, because you're going to get far away, you're going to enjoy it. Let me just go back and put it here, and I'm going to get the projector back to create a bigger image, okay? So I'm going to put it on the couch itself. So this will be auto-corrected, okay? This will be auto-corrected. And as you can see, this is the image. Of course, the sharpness won't be the same anymore. The brightness won't be same anymore. This is a 120-inch image, considering this is a 135. Huge image. You don't need to go sizes like that. If you're going to go like that, like I told you, get your budget more and get yourself a TT, X5, maybe even Mozart One. Between that, DaVinci One is also an option. You gotta watch my other total guides and versus videos. But I really love this device considering the price of it. I wasn't expecting something small to perform this good. And I will get it closer again. For the regular size, probably will be used about 100 inch. This is 100 inch. And you can, by the way, see the operation speed of this device. It really works quite fast. Like, takes a little bit more time considering the X5 and Mozart One kind of like level products. Let me just show you another. Finish the video with 8K Paradise. So open up the wildlife. You can ask at the comment section below if you want to learn anything more about this projector. You can ask people who owns, probably will also answer at the bottom of this. If you have to go higher price or higher brightness, you got to go higher. But I suggest if you're going to use it in the kid room, second room, you don't have to use high budgets. You can clearly get away with this. It's up to you. Whatever you decide, let me know at the comment section. And if you have any ideas, if you've seen Wanbo X2 Max, T2 Max, X5 side by side, like if you have experiences, share them at the comment section to help people out. If you like these videos, don't forget to like and subscribe would be great. Commenting will support the channel. And until the next video, hoşça kalın. I will be leaving you with the different sections like latency, audio measurements, full menu, picture quality, close-ups and stuff. Hope to see you in the next video. Home Cinema and Tech Review. Bye. Welcome to the box opening section of the Dali One from Wanbo, and Wanbo sent also some accessories, so this section won't be extremely short. As I always do, I'm going to take it out of the box and explain it. So before diving deep to the accessories, these are separately sold. This is the Dali One. It comes with outer box. Probably you will get your device like this. This is the design on the front of the device. You've seen it on the website probably. Once you get out, the model number that we see is, let me just try to get it close, VPD11, and it says 0.9 kilos. So we are already familiar. This is a small, tiny device. And this fun design, just for a kid's room, maybe even teenage room, I think this really represents how this projector can be used. I will try to show it in the different sections of the video. Enjoy the unlimited Wanbo logo with colored like a darker blue, and then Dali 1 over here, and enjoy the unlimited, explore infinite possibilities of light and shadow, it says. So this is the box. We're going to take the box out. So we got a holder here. It says Wanbo on it. I will take it out like this, and I'm going to try to open the box for you. So this is the most exciting part for me because I'm touching the device with you. So basically, we got the user manual, VPD11, it says again. And through the rest, we know the Wanbo loves the long user manuals. So we got every possible details, like the remote control, how we can cast the screen from Android and iPhone. It's also explaining that. But what I want to show you in this section is one of the most important parts. I've tried to write it on the screen with the different sections, the throwing distance reference. 40-inch, that's an interesting size. If you want to go small like a TV, you can catch the TV level. And I'm going to try to show you these setup: 1.2 meters, 50, 1.4, 60, 1.7, 72 meters, 90-inch 2.5, 100 2.8. Less than 3 meters, you're going to get yourself a 100-inch image, and that's kind of like the ideal size at top for 720p projector. But it says on the user manual 120 from 3.3. I would not try that, but maybe in the video, if I'm happy with it, I will try to show it to you. But normally, I always recommend staying inside of 100-inch size if you're 720p projector. So this is the Dali 1. I'm going to put it here. Look how small and tiny it is. So for the rest of the box content, what do we have? Oops, sorry to shake the camera. Let's put it here. We got the power adapter here. Power brick, maybe same width of the device. And I'm going to, don't worry, show you the close-ups. We got a power cable. We can change it anytime because these are easy to find. I'm going to give my personal thoughts on that. And sorry to shaking the camera with the box. And the box is finished. So, box content is over. We got a remote control. So I'm going to take the box to a side. And this is the remote control. I'm going to start with the remote control. Let me just change the topic. So we already know this remote control from Mozart 1 and probably X5 if I remember correctly. So this is a good forward and backward for the focus, volume up and down, back, home, mute, Android settings, I guess, if I remember correctly, and then settings and mouse icon, mouse mode, and then the power and the of course, navigation and the enter button. We got two AAA batteries needed, of course, no box content there, easy of transportation for many countries. So we got a 19-volt 3 amps battery. That's kind of like a battery brick that you can find. Tip is not extremely hard to find type of tip. So this is kind of like a 12-volt hard disk power supply adapter tip, but the power supply is 19 volt. Something smaller would be nice for such a smaller device, in my opinion, because when you take a look at this, how tiny it is. Look at the adapter and look at the Dali 1. I think Dali 1 is achieving the smallest. Let me just take this out. Probably many of you will wonder. Let me just take this out. Oh, how cool it is, right? I totally took it out. I think this is one of the cutest projectors that you can find in the market. Look how tiny it is. Under my hand, let me just hold it like this. Look, I don't have a big hand, but basically this is by far any means. I can hold it from the longer angle. Let me just show it again. This is that tiny. So this is the tiniest. Just think about it. This is a 1/4-inch hole for tripods, and how tiny is the bottom side of this projector. So before diving deep, this is the autofocus sensor on the front. We got a good amount of lens, of course, little smaller compared to the bigger brothers, but we're going to see the picture quality. Don't worry about that. Since this is a 720p, the sensor probably will be different than the others. And of course, we are seeing some of the coolers because of the lights changing. I'm moving back and forth. And we got a good Wanbo texture here. I think this is looking pretty neat, classy. And plastic feels really T2 Max, T4 kind of like quality level. Nothing dropping on the physical qualities. And Wanbo projector, let me just try to get it close. Wanbo projector, enjoy the unlimited. This is a nice touch. Seeing Wanbo here like a classic logo, let me just try to focus like this. And then on this side, seeing it like this will be, I mean, it's good branding. So on the left, we are seeing the power port, power input, USB port, where we can connect our USBs. Or of course, if you want to give, I will try in this video, hopefully, if I find the time, you're going to watch it in the different sections. Try to put it in, adding a 4K dongle to it, and then give it the best signal. So then what happens? You can connect the dongle and power it up from here. And this is the audio jack. If you're going to use it in the something like a teenage room, or someone like me using in the bedroom, you can connect your earbuds and listen it loud and clear as much as possible without disturbing anyone. Dust-proof box. It says here, if you can read it, dust-proof box. Let me just shadow it a little bit. Yeah, there's a text, very cool and elegant text. And we got also good golf ball looking holes. And those are really affecting. This is the top button and it feels really cool. So overall, the build quality is good as always. I think it's improved than many of the others like General T2 or T2 Max. And I think this is catching the level of T2 Max New or T4 kind of like level in the build quality. And one of the advantages of having the brake, like this is a negative for me, but it could be also positive. Let me explain. I will probably repeat myself in different sections. If you have the battery outside, some people says, what happens if you got your power supply problem with your Wanbo? Then you can replace your adapter easily. And this makes this device less heated up because there is no internal power supply. And it is, of course, extremely smaller. So it will be easier to place any place instead of a bigger and heavier device. And downside for me is if you're going to put it on a tripod, this will hang it down a little bit. Because if you want to put it high, this will drop like a rock and get some like extra weight. But if you're going to use it on a bookshelf, you won't be having any problem. You can extend the cable anytime you want because the cable is standard. If you ask me what I prefer, I like the X2 Max new product that I've tested because it has the internal power supply and direct cable input, but it's much more expensive than this. So this is tiny and much more affordable. There are positives and negatives. So for me, keeping the things small and slick is good. So we took all look at the box content. This is extremely small, as you can see. So what else did they send me other than that? Projector sealing bracket accessories. The model code is WBC-A02. And this is for mounting on a ceiling, I suppose. So what do we have inside of that? And I think, yeah, user manual, and that's it. So you're going to see the codes. So this is an aluminum. Of course, I would have wished this was as white as this one because many of the projectors are white, but it really suits with the white too. But just a recommendation, I would like to see a white one, matte white one like this, matching the projectors better. So we got everything that we need, like 4 screws with the Allen keys, and of course the Allen key itself, and some supports for it. So how do we install it? Let's take a look. And I think that's about it. There is an extension ceiling mount if you have it like that, and then you will put it under the some Wanbo models, not this one, of course. This is small. You can always connect with one unit, but bigger products like maybe X2 Max or Mozart 1, kind of like there are bigger holes that you can mount it on the bottom. So I will take this to a side. The things that probably we're going to use in this video, especially these two feet. This is the small one, so let's take a look at the code of this. And if I can see it, this is the Wanbo desktop stand. So the model code is WBBA02. So this is the smallest one. So on the side, you can see it's like a rectangle, but not, as you can see, it's symmetrical. But in the middle, we got a pivot, kind of like pivot point there where we can move our projectors from one side to another. So that will create, sorry for shaking the camera, that will create an angle for the projector if we are going to put it on a just tabletop. So on the bottom, we got a screw hole for 1/4 inch for silicone base. This is the smaller version. So once we screwed, I'm going to show it to you. We're okay. This is the bigger one. The bigger one code is WBBA03. It's if this, okay. 02 is the small one, 03 is the big one. So this could be better for, let's just say, Wanbo Mozart 1, I guess. And if you're going to use it with the maybe DaVinci 1 Pro, kind of like a bigger projectors. Let's just take it out. Okay. I got it out. So this is the screw that we got. And normally it doesn't come out. Probably I did try it early. That's why. And this is about that. The higher the angle and the height is, of course, this is the 2 VBB 02A, I guess. And on the left, 03. So one is higher, a lot higher, and a lot bigger, of course, as you can see. So this is definitely for the one to use with Dali. I will probably use through the video. So what you're going to use is something like this. I will do it with one hand. Behind the camera, it's a little difficult than you think. And yeah, this is sturdy enough. I will lock it down and voila. The projector is okay. Right now you're seeing the angle and I can put it down and put it up like this. So if this is going to be standing still on a bookshelf, it will be like this, straight. You're looking on the left side. And if I put it like this, this will be tabletop, giving it a couple of degree angles to create higher image on the wall to your eye level. And if this will be on the bookshelf again, you can project downwards to create the right height for you. So the box content is finished. I'm going to continue through the review and hope to see you in the other sections of this video. I'm going to get into the kids room. So this is the kids room and you're going to see how you can turn a small kid room into a cinema setup. As you can see, there are toys on the ground. This is not a tidy room by any means. This is the Dali 1 on a stool, kid's stool, and on a small kid's table from IKEA. I might later on share this parts on the codes. So this setup right now, the camera is auto exposure settings, but as you can see, it's playing internally from 8K Dream Color channel, and channel automatically dim down when I do it with the menu setup, but this is a clearly bright image. And on the right, we got a 43-inch TV. This room is less than 3 meter length width and around 5 meter plus length. So this is a kind of like kids room, maybe second or third room, but basically you can create, when you create something like this 105, 110-inch image, it's a little bit oversized if you're going to watch it up close for 720p projector, but it's usable. Normally image is little less brighter than what you see. The camera is trying to auto expose everything, the ground and of course the rest, but I'm projecting to a wall, half door, as you can see, the kids bed door and the rest. This is easily could be usable or in the bedroom, in the kids room, second room or third room like this, and I think it will really create a cinema experience way better than a big room, because when the room gets smaller, the screen feeling gets increased, and the audio level right now is 4. If I increase like this, you will clearly hear a lot of audio. I will make the audio test later on. I think the sharpness is, compared to the 720p resolution, quite good. And we're going to take a look at different sections of this video, but this is probably giving you the little bit of feeling of the sharpness. I'm going to connect a 4K probably dongle in the different sections of this video, getting the close-up. But consider this is a matte white wall, door, digital panel, and kids bed. So this is not the ideal setup, but even that can be used in a very small room. If you got white doors and white walls, you can use this projector quite easily. I will highly suggest, if you're thinking on a budget way, to use it in a bedroom or kids room or the second or third room just for casual watching. This would get the job way better than you think. So this is the toys on the ground, sorry for that, and this is the Dali one. Just to give you a scenario idea in a small room setup, probably 80 to 90% of people will choose something budget like this. That doesn't mean you can't use it in a big room, but yes, you can create good big images. How I would recommend this? I would recommend get it a little smaller, like 85-inch-ish. Then you got yourself a pretty good, very sharp image. Because since it's 720p, if the room is small, you might want to get close to the image. You might have to sit close to the image. Then I would recommend 75, 85-inch levels. And you will again feel cinema in the small room when you're sitting close. You can clearly connect a console to it and casual gaming in a teenager room. Well, prices are getting down for good products these days. I can tell you that. In this section of the video, we're going to take a look at all the settings of Wanbo Dali 1 offers. The image is 100-inch and this is the main menu, and I am giving the visuals from Wanbo Dali 1 right now. So let's start with the default menu. So when we go up top, we got to see the wireless, we got Bluetooth, we got weather, and we got clock itself. So at the left, we got search. Let me just hit that search. As you can see, app store, let's just say allow to search media files and stuff. So you got apps to search. You may also like something like these recommendations. And as you can see, Disney Plus and get a free update. Nothing special there. So other than that, you got a home button, which you already have on the remote control. You got a popular button, and you got something popular here, ZTV and whatever, UFA TV and PS. All these different things, ABC. These are like kind of default for the X2 Max and also X5, kind of like default theme of the Wanbo. So nothing new there. And at the bottom, we got the source of HDMI, and if you got anything connected, USB. So I'm going to, in the second section of this section of the video, probably this is a section where I will try to show you two sides, and there will be probably other sections too, but for the picture quality, I will also send a signal from a 4K Google dongle that I use. But internally, it is capable to play Full HD. So, before diving deep, if I hit the settings button, or here, come here, there will be a right menu that we have a network, wireless network, and we got a MAC ID here. We got a projection method, and if you hit that, front, rear, front ceiling, and rear ceiling. That's a nice touch, so you can place it on a bookshelf, you can place it on the ceiling, you can rear project. That's a nice touch. So display scale is always a good thing. When you move up and down, as you can see, you can shrink the image down. As you can see, 50%, and that's a nice touch if you don't want to move the projector, like probably placed it on a ceiling or something, and you want to use it as a TV, like a small daily, maybe 40-50-inch TV, and then you want to watch the movies 100-inch, maybe 75. But of course, the ideal way, getting the projector front and back because of the real resolution. So for trapezoid is 4-point keystone actually, so you can really skew it. I will show you right now how much you can do that, and how much you want to do that. As you can see, we can really push the limit. Still goes. So 480, and I will hit the menu button to, sorry, I'm in the dark and it's difficult to see. If I hit the menu button, I will reset it. So this is the resetted version of 0, 0 right now. I'm quite a bit of straight. The only visual at the left is cut by just a little bit, just a hand size from a small single seat little couch. So continue through the settings. We got the Bluetooth. As you can see, I can connect Bluetooth devices, and I already did with my Anker Soundcore Liberty 2 Pro earbuds, and I used it with my tests, like watched a couple of episodes. No problem there, no delay, any problem I don't encounter. I haven't encountered anything. So language, like basic Android, you can use probably any language around the world that is popular. And common settings, you got picture, sound, source, application management, time, keyboard, screensaver, input port, system net update, local update, and factory data reset. So we're going to go high to the picture. So the picture mode and color temperature. So if you hit the color temperature, as you can see right now, it's in the standard. Let's go cold. This is, by the way, automatically playing itself internally. You have seen it probably with the other Wanbo models. That's normal. And if you hit warm, it becomes warm. Normal is a little bit more brighter, and neutral. You can always go to the user settings. I'm not going to change the tone too much. Picture mode. Right now it's in the user, as you can see. I will talk about it. So this is the standard, but right now the camera is tuned to auto. It might not be ideal for you to see, but basically if you push the vivid, highlights are kind of like gone, overexposed. But if you go standard, they come back, the details on the corn. And if you go soft, image really gives the details, but of course you lose the total brightness. That is kind of like important. Let me just show you standard and the soft. If you want to see the details of the corn, you got to go soft, or you got to go user. So if you go like this, I suggest my best setting is sharpness is 75, and I will dim down the brightness to, I know it looks interesting, around 30. 30, the reason behind it is I want to see the details, like more dynamic range. So right now I can see the details of the corn around here. Okay, the up top area. If I push it to the 50, the default, okay, default theme, the 50, the highlight is kind of like gone. So it's up to you. If you're playing games or watching too dark movies, you can go around that. But my settings, personally, 30, 50, saturation, I don't push too much. I already pushed 2 points. You can go back to 50, close to neutral, and sharpness is 75. Since this is a 720p projector, and I'm going to explain in the conclusion section in a lot more detailed manner. So I push the sharpness as much as I can, because if you want to watch big, adding a sharpness is a good stuff. Right now the text is sharper than the default. If you go 50, these texts will be a little bit softer, especially if you go smaller text, they will be even more softer. And that's normal for 720p, but I will explain in the conclusion section. So when you come to the sound, system sound, standard, news, music, movies, sports, and user. So that's a nice touch. We already seen that with the different Wanbo models like X2 Max and the others that I reviewed early in the channel. You can go back and check them out. Source settings, normal HDMI. And if I hit it, HDMI is 60p. This is again my default Android, and I will come back to the menu. If you come to here, USB, boot channel, Android, and HDMI. That's a nice touch. You can choose the boot from HDMI or Android. If you connect your gaming console, you could choose up directly HDMI and use your gaming console like PlayStation 4, 5, or Xbox Series X or S, like I always recommend. using a console for much more complicated things, and of course playing casual games with the projector. I highly recommend. So installed apps, you can see it here. You got App Store, eShare Server, Google Play Store, and as you can see, we got casting, Miracast, and iMirror, both for iPhone and Android, live TV settings, YouTube, and system apps. So you got a management system here. Time control, time zone is right now I'm living in Turkey, Istanbul. So based on that, I got +3 zone, hour, and keyboard. You can choose basically any keyboard. Since this is Android, you can install later on. Screensaver is a nice touch, 5 minutes, 15, 30, 1 hour, or off. It's up to you. Input port, HDMI control, ARC, you can open it up. People ask, does it have an ARC? As you can see, you can open it up. Device auto power off. Well, that's a nice touch if you're going to be about to sleep before, using this into the bedroom. In the bedroom. System net update. It doesn't have an update yet. As you can see, it is fresh projector. So that's about it. Local update and factor data reset. So these were like common settings. And when you come to the about, Wanbo projector, VPD11, the model name and system version, Android 9, this is default, resolution is 720p, DDR is 1 GB, and storage is 8 GB. So if you go there, you got user agreement, and that's about it. So this is the default menu. I will open it up. I will just show you the speed of the menu here. If I hit the button, as you can see, it really travels quite fast. If I go down, that's the speed. And I will go to the YouTube. So if I hit the all apps, this is the section where you can Google Play Store and install. But of course, like non-pro models of the Wanbo, you don't have the Netflix and the Amazon Prime licensing. So you are going to be limited with the mobile resolution. But if you want a full licensed version, like you got to go to Wanbo TT or Mozart 1 Pro or DaVinci 1 Pro. By the way, I reviewed the DaVinci 1 and it was like quite a good projector with a good speaker, and with the Google license, it was a good experience. So I could come down here and play let's just say 8K Ultra HD internally from the device. And this is kind of like a little bit of detailed fruit video, close-up video. Let's just check the resolution. So as you can see, this is 480p, and I will push it to full HD. And yep, that's a highly bright image, considering this device is declared numbers. This is easily watchable, even in a living room brightness. In a dark room, of course, if you got a white, good reflective screen or default white wall, you can easily place it and use it. And there will be other sections that you can see in a small room, even without a screen, just a white door and a white wall. I used it in the kids' room. I was happy with the results. And right now I pushed the sharpness to 75, as you know it in the menu. So the image looks good. But of course, what you see is right now fixed, not a fixed exposure from the camera. So this is auto adjusting. But right now, as I'm seeing behind the camera screen, this is kind of like a close match to what I see. Contrast is high, little bit of loss on the dynamic range, of course, for this price range. This is acceptable, and you can dim a little bit down or choose soft image to get more detail out of the projector, but it's up to you. I love punchy look of things. Since this is a 720p, if you go a little smaller, like 85-inch, you will get a way sharper image. So I'm coming back. I'm going to try to, this is a dream color channel and healthy fruits, okay? So let's go back. if it's going to change the sharpness, you can go back. I'm not going to do side by side, but I'm going to hit the home button and the source to go to HDMI. Right now, this is the dongle that I got. This is the Realme dongle connected to the device. And I'm going to go to the YouTube. And I'm going to probably search for yeah, 4K probably, yeah, 4K fruits, yeah, 8K dream color. So I hit the same video, but this time what I'm going to do different is I'm going to, of course, the icons and the picture quality is regular, but right now I'm giving, as you can see, 4K image to the projector. So the sharpness is better. That's what I'm talking about in general. If you even have a 720p projector, if you can give it to a 4K signal, if you got a game console, you will get a lot sharper image. That doesn't mean your dynamic range will increase, but overall your sharpness will be increased, as you can see in this section of the video. It really enhanced the avocado's texture, especially in this scene. I can clearly say the cherry is more detailed on the small parts, like yellowish parts. And let's go a little forward here. I'm still moving 4K. So cotton has a lot more texture, quite a bit of, we can see every detail out of it. And I'm going to show you 4K gameplay footage. So we're going to look at PlayStation 5 Craziest Game. Let's just see that. And I'm going to try to look at the resolution while we're looking at that. Yes, this is a 440p, but right now this is a 4K video. So I think it looks quite good. What do you think? Like, I wasn't expecting from something this small, something this cheap. I'm not saying this is the cheapest projector for the 720p small projector territory, but still, this will get you excited, and on a casual base, this will get the job done for a lot of people. Just want to make that clear. And probably you will see some other sections like details, but from corner to corner, picture quality, everything looks equal. And on my measurements, I will also share this details, all the details in the conclusion section. So can we do, let's just hit the settings button. Yes, we can see projection menu, a semi-transparent on the regular footage from the HDMI, and as you can see, this is something good to have. And let me just picture focus. Yeah, it really does the focus quite quick. Okay, quite sharp. That's done. So that's a nice touch. If you have any problems, you can do it automatically. And the auto boost, autofocus, maybe I haven't showed this section. Keystone picture, autofocus on the boot, autofocus on the move, auto keystone on the boot, auto keystone on the move, smart obstacle avoidance, auto screen alignment. These are the things make this device quite a bit of everyday projector, if you ask me. you put it on and you leave it and you'll directly use it. So the menu section is over. You can continue through the rest of the video. In the menu section, I thought the camera was auto, but basically I've exposed it manually, so that's a nice touch. Everything that you see probably in the details of that I calculated. In this section, I'm going to get closer to the screen, and this is a 4K gameplay from PlayStation 5 to Spider-Man game, and I'm playing from YouTube and 4K 60p. So I'm going to get close for you to see the sharpness that it delivers. I'm going to get the camera and move along with you. So let's just get back to one of the main scenes of this video, okay? So I'm going to get close. I think this image I'm going to play, by the way, is pretty detailed. From corner to corner, you can clearly say this is quite a bit of good picture. Of course, what I see is a little darker than maybe you see, but this is kind of like overall exposure of the projector in a very dark room. But of course, if you go bigger, then you might have a little bit of issue of the brightness than a 100-inch. You can go, but if your eyes used to, you would rather have X2 Max or TT or DaVinci 1 or even Mozart 1, if you have the budget, of course. But if you don't see them side by side, or if you haven't used them yet, you will happily use this in a small room on a tight budget. You will get a good image like this. So quite a bit of fun, I guess. So I will get close to these areas like icons, what happens in the 720p. So as you can see, the softness of the icons, and for the 100-inch, that's quite normal. And I'm going to move here, okay? And this is the text. For this size, it is for the 720p, of course. Again, for the 100-inch, it's quite normal. Let me just walk around here to show you the game text on the left. So all these things are quite normal for this price range and 720p at the 100-inch big size like this. So I'm going to go back and play. So if you're going to look at the Excel files, this is not your projector, of course, for the 100-inch. You want to use it less than 100-inch, something like, let's just say 85-ish on a small room, maybe 75, you're going to get a TV style. And there will be probably another section where I will show you all those things. But this section is over with the menu section for the gaming capabilities, and the latency level of this device is between 42, if I remember my notes, and between 56. That means this is a casual gaming projector, so you can use games like this, third-person games, the Spider-Man, the Tomb Raider, and platform games, overall racing games, even racing games. But if you just an FPS person, the online stuff like competitive, yeah, 42 to 50 milliseconds is kind of like a little loss there on the gaming. But this is not the target of this price range of a product. So it will get a lot done on a tight budget. And for a small room, it will do a lot more than probably you think for the price. So this section is over.